If your wife wants to divorce and be friends, it's because she believes she can have the best of both worlds, being single and being married. You'll need to follow the correct path to end your wife's destructive divorce fantasy and stay married. Women are being sold a lie. It's part of the anti-family, modern, feminist, conscious uncoupling, anti-God agenda invading our society, and it leaves a lot of victims in its path. The promise is that women can have all the benefits of a marital relationship while giving them more freedom, independence, and personal joy. Women are made to feel inferior if they choose to be loyal to their husbands, as if something was wrong with them. In non-Christian circles, many women get shunned by their divorced friends if they stay married. There is a path for men to prevent this, but very few men know it. It does not have anything to do with convincing. It is also not a matter of going to marriage counseling, going no contact, inducing guilt feelings, or pursuing her. None of these methods will stop the divorce. Today, I will give you the one clear path. I've helped many men to walk this path. If you are secure enough, you can too. Don't bother to tell your wife this, but you should know. You can't talk your wife out of a fantasy she imagines as fantastic. The divorce and stay friends model only works for women who should divorce anyway, because of a terrible marriage to a terribly mismatched man. Some marriages are truly not worth saving, and women are better off if they divorce. If that is your wife's situation, then just let her go. It will be a loving thing to do. For the rest of the women, this model works only in the short term. Within a year, their now ex-husbands are in serious relationships with other women. While women are able to retain their freedom, women over 40 are more likely not to have another partner, feel lonely, and regret losing their husbands to another woman. But by then, it is much too late to turn back. So-called conscious uncoupling is the modern lie being sold to women that they can have their cake and eat it too. The sad truth is that they end up without any cake at all. So the truth is that she has more to lose than you do. Husbands can help to prevent this sad outcome for their wives. Like my clients, you can burst her divorce fantasy bubble by making her very upset at first, but preventing a lot of grief for her later. It also gives your marriage a new start. There are a couple of facts you are going to have to face. They will help you to understand and to have more empathy for your wife, which is important for reconciling. One simple and obvious fact is that your wife's marriage to you is no longer fulfilling for her. Many couples have allowed their marriages to become stale and routine. Going to work is often more interesting than being at home. Talking to coworkers and friends is more interesting than talking to their spouse. All building and improvement efforts have gone into money, career, house, kids, social media, friends, or even hobbies. If they have continued to go out on dates, that too has become routine. Sex has become routine, unfilling, or has stopped, except perhaps for Valentine's Day and their anniversary. This kind of marriage is best described as a roommate or business partner relationship. It promotes midlife crisis, affairs, separation, and divorce. Which one depends on the opportunities that come along. Women in these relationships often still care about their husbands. They don't divorce because their husbands are so bad. So why do they? Let's talk about the real reason that women and men divorce. Women don't divorce because their marriages are bad. Let me say that again. Women don't divorce because their marriages are bad. Many people will stay in a bad marriage indefinitely, while other people will leave a pretty good marriage. People leave marriage for the same reason they will leave their job or move to another country. It's because they believe those choices will be better. It is not despair that makes them leave, but rather it is hope. Hope for something or someone even better. Of course, in a bad marriage, it is easier to find hope in other things. In a good marriage, nothing else will be appealing. People always want the best they can get. That is human nature. Your wife is not evil because she wants what she believes will be a better situation for both of you. Her idea could even be considered thoughtful and loving, though understandably you don't feel that way. You improving yourself doesn't convince her to stay because that is not why she is leaving. She is leaving for the situation she hopes for. You improving doesn't take that away. Your improvement is just a bonus to what she gets from divorcing you. And the feminist would point out your improved treatment of her as proof that she is on the right path. It makes sense, doesn't it? The conscious uncoupling idea has a logic that holds together. It is resistant to outside logic and emotional appeals. She imagines you will have regular contact and that divorcing will enhance your relationship. She even sees it as a gift she is giving to you. She believes she is creating more freedom for both of you while envisioning frequent get-togethers, shared holidays, and family outings. Her idea will be that the two of you date others, but only people who understand you will be staying very good friends with your ex-wife. She even imagines double dating with you. Perhaps your wife can be friends with her new husband. It's only experience that breaks these delusions. It reminds me of how I used to pretend I was Batman. One jump off our garage roof convinced me that I wasn't. Right? Not all men should try to stop the divorce. I know how to help men reconcile from all kinds of situations, but not all men should seek to reconcile. If a man wants to prevent his wife from divorcing but has no real desire for a better relationship with her past that, then he will not be able to sustain a good marriage. Responsibility and concern for the children are good, but not sufficient. A man also has to have a true love and concern for his wife. We get married for the same reason we have kids, in order to have someone to love. God's command is for us to love our wives rather than to make sure they love us or even stay married to us. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. That's Ephesians 5:25. Fear of being alone and fear of failure are also not sufficient reasons to reconcile. In fact, a man who is fearful of losing his wife will be unable to have the boundaries required to keep her. He will be afraid of making her upset and will not be attractive to her as anything other than a friend. There is no way to burst someone's fantasy bubble without making them upset. If you are fearful of doing that, then you need to work on overcoming your fear so you can do better with your next wife. There's no shame in that, but it is important to recognize and deal with it. I had to deal with the very same thing. It was part of my inspiration for writing my book on overcoming neediness. The best reason to reconcile is because you believe it is truly the best thing to do for your wife. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. So the Bible says, and I believe it. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4-5. You have some choices when your wife wants to divorce and be friends. The first is, you can accept her idea to divorce and be friends. If you are one of the men who shouldn't reconcile, like I just talked about, then going along with your wife's ideas may be for the best. It takes time, consistency, and effort to create the conditions for your wife to want to stay married. You will then need to maintain that connection for the rest of your life. If your heart is not in it, then you will be better off to join in with your wife on her plan. You will get along well, there won't be any conflict, and being divorced may be much better than your marriage, just like your wife says. Here's another choice for you. You can work to persuade her to change her mind. Most men try this one. This is a common but misguided approach. Men, realizing they have dropped the ball in their marriage, seek to improve everything. They spend more time with her, treat her better, and do more around the house. While their wives may enjoy the changes, that will do nothing to reduce her anticipation of freedom and happiness after divorce. In fact, your changes reassure her of how your relationship will continue to be good after divorce. If you go this route, ultimately you will need to just follow her plan or revert to a conflict situation. That also would encourage her to divorce. Remember, she is not leaving because your marriage is so bad. She is leaving so she can have the best of both worlds. Here's a third choice for you. You can agree to divorce, but not to stay friends. This is the winning strategy for stopping her from divorcing and saving your marriage. It prevents her from being able to have her cake and eat it too. She then has to decide which she would rather lose, your continued relationship or the freedom she hopes to gain. It is the same choice single people have to make when they get married. Here is something worth memorizing. People only commit or recommit in order to keep something of value, which they would otherwise lose. You really need to know this if you're going to reconcile. Let me say it again. People only commit or recommit in order to keep something of value, which they would otherwise lose. It's similar to the forced choice we give to stop affairs. You can keep the other person or you can keep me, but you can't have both. That's a forced choice. You can't stop a divorce with an ultimatum only. The ultimatum will only work if your wife does not want to lose you and you can be secure enough to have good boundaries. The boundaries help her to see that indeed your relationship will completely end. No trips, no get-togethers, no talking on the phone, nothing. You, in fact, will be getting married and leaving her behind completely. If you have children, they will be getting another mother. If you cannot do that, then you cannot use this method. Additionally, you must not pursue her. There is no pursuit or attempt to change her mind with this method. You agree to divorce, but not to staying friends after. While separated, you have good separation boundaries that let her discover exactly what divorce will be like. You will also work on enhancing your desirability. You work on becoming an attractive man, the kind she wouldn't want to lose. You're increasing your value, right? And you use good connection skills. Attraction and connection skills are a major portion of my Reconnections coaching package if you would like me to help you with that. Destroying her divorce fantasy will make her upset. No cooperating and helping her to both divorce and stay friends puts her in a bind. She will be upset. You will be bursting her divorce fantasy bubble. She will use her persuasive powers to get you to drop your boundaries. And if you do, this method fails. For example, my client Scott was doing an excellent job of becoming a more desirable man and helping his wife to enjoy their interactions while still keeping good boundaries. However, when his young son called him, with his mother's help of course, and begged him to come to his birthday party at his wife's home, he caved. His previously upset wife was reassured and followed through with the divorce. Other men have given in to sexual advances from their wives, thinking it would rekindle their marriage. However, each time it just reassured their wives that their relationship would continue. Let's talk about the success rate of this method. In relationships, as in business, success is not measured by how many people can be successful. Success is always determined by the ability to do what is required to succeed. No matter how many other people succeed, your success is determined by that for everything you do in life. In this case, the more she values you and the more she believes your relationship will end, the more successful you will be. To recap, you can successfully ruin your wife's plan to divorce and be friends if she does not want to lose you. You put her in a position to lose you if she chooses to divorce. You demonstrate your seriousness with good separation boundaries. And you continue to be a desirable man. This is a good time to do all you can do to become more desirable. Your wife won't see that as pursuit if you frame it as preparing to meet your next wife. Your success depends on your ability to become the kind of person she does not want to lose. It also depends on your ability to maintain good boundaries that would make her fear losing you entirely upon divorce. As with many other men, getting help could make all the difference for you if you are in this situation. In my experience, most men have doubts and fears about their every interaction with their wife. They also have difficulty connecting and being attractive while still maintaining good boundaries. As you saw with Scott, boundary slips can be costly. Also, if she can bait you into conflict, she will feel better about choosing freedom rather than you. Sign up for my Reconnections coaching package and I will help you to make sure you know how to handle these interactions and how to say these things to her. If you are already close to divorce, you may want to start with a consultation to see what can be done at this point. Either way, I'm happy to help any man whose motive is to love his wife.